Okay, so people who joined newly, this is the notebook that I was talking about, Jupyter notebook. Please see last video recording. You'll be very clear about how to use it. What is Jupyter notebook, how to open a new Python file, how to create a new notebook. Everything is pretty well described, right, in those videos. So you can go through that. Today we will start Python. If you see the syllabus, we will start the basic things first, Python language basics. So basically, people, if some of you already know Python, this will be kind of revision for you. But for all the new, like kind of beginners, it will be really helpful, right? So yeah, so let's start a new Python notebook. So what I will do is in Jupyter notebook, there are two buttons, upload and new. I will press new and Python 3. So this is a new Python file I have created. Before I jump into the details, what all are the things that we are going to cover today? Mostly we will be covering the language basics, Python basics. We'll start with Python basics. If you remember, the first topic of this syllabus is Python. That's the first module. So we'll be completing one by one this. With this, within Python basics, what all are the things we are completing today is first we'll see how to print anything in Python, and then we will see how space indentation matters a lot, right, in Python, and then comment any single line or multi-line comment, right, and then we will see what is a variable and how to declare a variable in Python. We will see functions, or maybe we will see loops. So when I'm saying loops, it is if, else, for, while, right? If, else, for, while loop, right? Yeah, so this is all about today's class. And if time permits, we'll go for functions and modules, right? And with this, so total things that we are looking in Python basics, after loops, we will be going for functions and modules. And then finally, we will be looking into data structures. This is a very important module. So inside data structure, we'll be looking list, tuple, set, right? Dictionary and all this. Okay. So this is coming, all these chapters are coming under basics. I will be sharing, this is a practice notebook, but I have a main notebook which I will be sharing after this class. So this is the notebook you can refer to for today's class, right? After today's class. One second, let me open it. Where is it? Okay, so this is a notebook. So whatever I said, introduction to Python, hello Python, Python as a calculator, indentation, comments, right? And with proper code and everything. So this is for your reference. This is for practice. Okay. Okay. So before I jump into this, any idea like why Python is very popular? Do you know some characteristic or properties of Python language? You want to share any Python users? Out of all, anyone who has already worked in Python? How many of you already worked in Python? Had a basic understanding? Just I want to understand the audience, so that's why I'm asking. Okay, okay. So, okay, Abdul, you know. Others, are you beginner or completely new to Python, or like who all are completely new?
Uh, yeah, we are new only. We have worked on Java, not Python.
Okay, 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 no problem. Okay, okay. So I will go from basic level because most of the students are completely new to Python, right? Okay. Got it. Now coming to the basic things, right? First, we will see Python, right? So as a language, Python is an object-oriented programming language. So basically, if you know OOPS, right? It's very famous keyword, object-oriented programming language. I want you to give me some example of object-oriented programming language, except Python. Any other programming language you have used, which is object-oriented? Sorry. So this class should be interactive. Like you can, no need to type, you can unmute and tell, so that it will be interactive. Otherwise, it's like one-sided. I will be talking, and you'll be listening, right? So yeah, Java. So one of the languages Java. It's very famous. Other is like Scala, Java. All these are OOPS-oriented, object-oriented programming language. So people who have worked in object-oriented programming language, can you tell some properties of OOPS, basic properties? Just the names.
Encapsulation,
uh,
inheritance,
polymorphism, inheritance,
Yes,
abstraction, encapsulation.
Abstraction.
dynamic binding.
yeah. So I don't want to go in detail. Inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, right? We have all this thing as like OOPS concept. So if a language is object-oriented programming language, so mostly the basic concepts are object uh, and class, right? We know class and object, those all are the basic things. Again, please go through the, if you are completely new to programming world, even like you have not used any other OOPS concept oriented languages before, I'll request you to go through the basic concepts first. That will help you to understand Python in a better way. So what is a class, what is an object, like what is what is the properties, not in detail but at least a high level, what is inheritance, what is polymorphism, what is encapsulation and all. So that will help you understand Python better, because Python is an object oriented programming language. So as it is object oriented, everything in Python is object, right? So yeah, and that's the reason it is powerful. We know object oriented programming language like Java and all, mostly we like it's more powerful than other category like procedural and other. I don't want to go in detail of that, but coming to Python again, it's very popular in 2020. uh, Prior to 2-3 years back, when I'm starting any data science class, the first doubt students had was whether to learn R or Python for data science. Now this is completely, there's no confusion. You should start with Python, and if you are starting with Python, it will, you can reach far, you can go far. Why? There are so many advantage of using Python as compared to other R and all. R is a purely statistical oriented programming language. It's a very wonderful language, so many packages and everything, but coming to, when it coming to scalability and mostly the scaling, right? So means what? um Huge data, big data, right? It should support the algorithms, distributed algorithms, right? uh, not all all algorithms are still implemented using R. It's not very mature as compared to Python and Java, Scala, right? If you see Hadoop, Spark, or other big data tools, there is a API for Python, and most of the machine learning algorithms are already implemented using Python. So it's easier. Integration with big data platform is easier. That's like one of the advantage of Python. And in today's world, most of the data is huge size, and big data integration is a big advantage for Python's popularity. Second advantage, and the most advantage, is easy to ease, right? Easy to use. uh, if you don't know any language, if you are completely new to programming world, you know then also you can understand Python. Unlike Java, Scala, it is not that hard to learn. Anybody can learn Python. It's a very very easy to use and easy to learn kind of language. So that's again one of the reason for its popularity, right? uh, So yeah, so in 2020, not only data science, every field, IoT, data science, or maybe I can broadly AI, artificial intelligence, coming to other things like blockchain, all the hot techniques, all the hot technologies. If you see, Python is there. Go to your network testing, automation, socket programming, kind of IoT, data science, artificial intelligence, blockchain, virtual reality, everything, everywhere you will see Python packages. Python is used, right? One of the programming language. So yeah, so I think in 2020, I recently, 1 or 2 weeks back, I was reading an article. So 1 year back, still Java was the first language. Most users are of Java, but in 2020, like 1 or 2 weeks back, if you see the survey report, Java and Python both are in the same place. Number of users in Python and number of users in Java are completely same. So learning Python is what I'm trying to say in all this form is learning Python is definitely helpful. You are going for a data science career or not, that's a different thing, but learning Python will help you no matter which career you are in and where you want to go. Okay, so if you have time, give enough time to get expertise in this language. Okay. Okay, that's all about why we are learning Python, why we chose Python. Coming to the basics again, the first thing we do, any language we start, is how to print anything, right? How to print anything in Python. So there is a print function. Directly, it's a built-in function. I will call the print function. If you are Java user, I have to call system.out.println, and then within that I can write to print. But here I am using print function. Print is a built-in function. Within that, whatever you will write, let's say hello Python, and this is what I will get. Hello Python, right? So whatever I want to print, I can print within this. In Python, single quotation, double quotation, both are having same meaning. In other languages, we have character and kind of strings, but in Python, single quotation and double quotation, both has same meaning. Okay, so what I mean is I can give double quotation here, or if I give single quotation, I'll get the same output. It will treat it as a string, right? Similarly, I can print anything. Let's say I'm printing some number, uh, 8 plus 9. So I can get the value 8 plus 9, that is 17, right? So if you are printing some variable or something, then no need to give this like double quotation or single quotation. If it is a string, then you can write the string within quotation, right? That's how you can print anything in Python. And this, people who are new, please go through the video for Jupyter Notebook. This is basically a cell where I'm writing Python code, and the output I am getting is in IPython cell. So in background, if you see the kernel, right, that it is running is IPython kernel. Okay, so this is Python command prompt kind of Python cell where I'm looking when I'm visualizing the output, and this is the code where I'm writing. The cell is the code writing area, and this is the output, right? Okay, so this is how I can write anything in Python, print anything in Python. Now, and next question I want answer from you: what is comment and why we use comment in any language, not only in Python? What is commenting? You must have
Kind of,
heard single line, multi-line comment, right? Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah,
ma'am, comment is like a highlight. If you are if you are doing anything and you want to highlight something, then we use comments.
correct. So highlight, yeah, that's okay, but I mean the objective, I got it, but is there any other thing that we do with comment? I mean, if I comment something, what will happen?
The comment is a kind of a description that you're letting know the I mean, for the coders mainly, you'll literally know what exactly you're doing. What is the function you're coding there, and what result you'll be getting.
Okay. Any other answer if I comment? Let's say I commented this.
That part will not be executed.
Correct. So there are several purpose why I will comment. First is documentation, right? For documentation purpose, comments are really helpful. Let's say I am writing, let's say this I am printing. 1 second. So I want to comment and write this is the code to print, right? So I'm commenting this is the code to print, and then I'm printing something. If I run, I'll get this. So here I have used comment to document. My purpose of comment here is document. By the way, in Python, single line comment you can always do by writing a hash before the line. What you need to add here, hash before the line. If you put hash, it's a single line comment. And why I'm writing here the comment is just documentation purpose. I'm saying the below line is the code for printing something. Similarly, let's say you're defining a function or something, you can comment logical this to this lines block of code is doing this thing, right? So that's the purpose of comment documentation. Going to other purpose, just give me 1 minute. Yeah, sorry. So what I was saying is here, if I instead of this, if I write comment here, I will not see any output, right? So here the purpose of comment here, write comment here is for debug. So mostly what will happen is, let's say in a long code, let's say 2000, 3000 lines of code, and I'm getting error. And I want to see where exactly I'm getting error, which line I'm getting error. So what I will do is, so the part which I don't want to execute, I can simply comment, and other part I can execute. And step by step, if I do this, I can get to know within which block I am getting the error. So mostly for uh, error debugging and all, we also comment some of the lines which we do not want to execute. Or let's say there are two scripts. One script we want to execute and see the output, second script we want to comment, something like that, right? So comment has two purpose. One is for documentation, and one is if you don't want to execute those lines, the interpreter will not execute those lines. By the way, Python is an interpreter based language. Any of you can explain what is a interpreter, what is compiler? Any example like compiler based language, compiler, interpreter? So again, I'm going to basics, not related to Python. What is an interpreter? Yeah.
Yeah, interpreter compiles the program line by line, where
Yes.
compiler executes the entire program, compiles the entire program.
Exactly. So by line is what interpreter will execute, and compiler. If you know Java, first we compile it, right? Before we go and run it. Before running, we are compiling it. So the byte class object, right? Byte class. If you do first, we need to make sure your code is 100% error free, syntactically, semantically. Once your code is 100% error free, then only you can execute entire code at once. It's not like line by line. Entire code I am executing at once. That's how Java do. That's how Java works, and that's compile based language. That's what the job of a compiler. But Python is an interpreter based language, so it is like line by line it will execute. So if I have 100 lines of code and I have error in 99 number of line, I can execute till 98 and I can see the output. When I go to 99 number of line, I'll get error. But in Java, until unless you are correcting the error which is there in 99 number of line, you cannot see any output, right? That's again difference between interpreter and compiler. Python is an interpreter based language. Okay, so in Python, how to give single line comment hash, multi-line comment, more than one line, how to comment. Triple quotation mark. This is how you can comment. But in Jupyter, this triple quotation mark, not triple, 3 times double quotation has a special meaning. In Jupyter, anyway, you can do multi-line comment in this way. For example, let's say all lines. Let's say I'm writing another line. Let's say this line. Right, and here I want to comment everything. What I will do in Jupyter is I will select everything, right? All the lines that I want to comment, I will select, and then I will press Control/. Okay. I am using Mac. In Windows, you can check either it is, I think it's Control/ only. You can check. Okay, so everything will be commented out at once. No need to write individually. Let me repeat. So just select everything. In first place, you just need to select all the lines. Let's say not all, let's say only this 2 line I want to comment. I will select that and then Control/. So all the lines will be commented. Okay. That's how you can comment multiple lines here. But in other IDs, like you are using Spyder or PyCharm or simply Notepad and running in command prompt, like how you write Java code, or any other ID you are using, you can use this triple quotation, 3 times double quotation. This particular uh, kind of operator within that, whatever not symbol, right? Within that, whatever lines of code you will write, everything will be commented out, right? Whatever I will write within this, everything will be commented out. In Jupyter, it has a special meaning. Again, I don't want to go into that, but let me show you what does this mean here. So if I write anything, let's say print hi, this is second level of space. Okay, so if I run this, I will get something like this, right? If it is not clear, let me give you more clarity on this, what I mean. So what exactly it is doing? Any ideas? Normally how we write string in Python, double quotation within this, right? So if I write like this, I will get, I mean, it will not identify it as a string. Let's say I'm writing it within print. I want to print it. And as I said, anything you want to print, you can write it within quotation mark. But if you give simply like this, you cannot, you will get error, right? Because it is end of string error you will get. But if you write within this, is it clear what exactly this is doing in Jupyter? This 3 times double quotation mark. Is it clear? Just guess what it is doing.
Is it like considering as a string? So
Space, right?
is it
Without me writing slash n means new line, right? Without me writing slash n, the way I want to print, I can print. So see here, it is giving proper spacing in exactly the same way it is printing. Space also here it is considering, right? Sometimes let's say you are writing some text and you want to give some space and all that. Without writing this 3 times quotation, how you can do in other way. So you have to, if you are using this line, this only this single quotation, so you have to write slash n, otherwise it will not understand. Next line, you need to explicitly tell the compiler that this is the next line I am going, kind of, right? So that's the difference in uh, Jupyter, right? 3 times double quotation, and if I remove this, this will be treated as a special string. How it will be treated as? Here in Jupyter Notebook, 3 times double quotation mark will be treated as a special string, where all the spaces it will take care. So no need to write slash n, it will understand and it will add all this. It is a new line, it will understand and it will add all the spaces, and you can see the output in the right format that you want to see with space, how much space you have given. That's the meaning of 3 times this quotation. But in other ID, I can show you in Spyder maybe, so that it will be clear what I am meaning. So how to open Spyder? In command prompt, you can simply type Spyder. People who had missed first class can go through this lecture. I mean, can go through the last class video lecture to understand more on it. So Spyder is again a IDE, scientific computing Python development environment. So this is Spyder. Let's say I want to comment this particular line. As I said, I will be writing 3 times quotation mark, right? And this is a comment here. Let's say if I'm running this, let me run. I am not getting any output. See, this is the same thing I'm getting. Output is nothing. I mean, this code is not running at all, right? But let's say I'm commenting this. So this is commented out. Now, if I run from here to here, I will get some error because this code's like import numpy, matplotlib, pandas. So you'll not understand what is import and all, but in a high level, these all are the packages I'm importing. And this PD, right? This PD I'm using here. So I'll get error. If I run this, I will get error because it will not recognize PD now. I have commented it. So it has not run the first 3 lines of code. And again, I'm using here. So I will get some error if I run from here to here. Let's say this here to here. If I run this, I'll get error. Name PD is not defined. Why it is not identifying PD? Because I have commented it out. It has not run this particular line. Line number 17 has been commented. The interpreter has skipped this line. It has not executed this line. So PD here I am using and it is not recognizing. But if I remove these comments, multi-line comment, and execute, my program will run without giving me any error. Is it clear what I mean to say multi-line and single line? And similarly, if I write here, this particular line will be single line comment. This is multi-line comment. Here to here, I don't want to execute. Okay. So yeah, that's how you can use in other ID in Python. Jupyter Notebook, you can simply type hash, and if you want all the lines should be commented, simply select and control slash. Again, if you do control slash, it will go back. Uncomment basically. If you want to uncomment, select all the lines. You want to comment, select all the lines, control slash, it will comment. You want to uncomment, select all the lines and control slash, it will uncomment. So comment is clear. Is it clear for all? Then I move to next topic. Okay. Now the next thing is Python calculator. Python is a calculator, right? So Python console can be used as a calculator. So like how you are doing all the math operation in calculator, so all the basic math operation you can perform here. So what I mean is 7 plus 8, you will get the output. 7 divided by 8, you will get the output. 7 divided by 8, 7 star 8, that is nothing but 7 multiplied by 8, right? 7 star 2, 7 to the power of 2, right? So all this basic math, kind of subtraction, addition, division, multiplication, square, 7 to the power of 2 square, and all that, you can directly use Python console to do this. If you are a Java user, this is not possible in any other language. So in Java, if you want to kind of do such operations, you need to initialize variables like int a equals to 5 or 4, int b equals to, let's say, 5, right? And then int c equals to 4 plus 5, system.out.println c, then you will get the output, right? But here directly Python console can be used as a calculator. That's one of the properties. So sometimes if you want, see here in one project, this is a project that we are doing in 8:30 p.m. batch. So I just want to do some math calculation to validate my model, the equation, whether it is satisfying the results or not. So I just tried this equation and I can get the output here. So this is kind of calculator. You don't need a calculator separately. Here only you can do all the math calculation. Okay, that is the second property. So introduction to Python is nothing but the Python applications, hello Python, printing anything in the console, and then we have seen Python as a calculator, right? You can use it as a calculator. Indentation, no braces. Okay, uh, now before jumping into indentation, no braces, I want to ask you why you need, like you said about comments, why you need indentation? What is the purpose of, what is indentation first? What do you mean by indentation? Indenting. You must be heard. You must have heard this word. Properly indent your code. You should indent your code properly. Indentation. What do you mean by that?
Aligning something.
So when you write a code, indentation is kind of spacing, right? Writing the code, giving proper spacing so that it will be easier for others to understand. It gives a nice look to your code. And mostly the, if you're writing a function, the body part of that function you write, giving some space, some tab, and the header is separate. So all that kind of spacing thing is known as indentation. In other languages, indentation is not mandatory. It's just we are using to kind of give a nice look to our code, and it also helps us understanding the code in a better way, and also helps us debugging the code in a better way, error debugging. In Python, it is mandatory. If you don't properly indent, you will get error. What I mean is, let's say I am writing a if code. So don't worry if you don't understand the code. I'm just explaining the indentation part. I'll explain how to write if. Let's say I'm writing something. Let's say 5 is greater than 4. If this condition is satisfied, then print I am in if, right? So what I have done here, I have started a block. Any block you start in Python, block means it can be if, else, for, while, function, right? Any kind of block you want to start, function or if, else, while, for loop. There are two things you need to take care. One is this colon symbol. This is the indicator of a block. After you write your first line, the header, you can write a colon, that is the indicator, and then you can give some space here. This is called indentation. The body part of this code, of this block, you should write only giving some space. You cannot write print here. So what I mean is, if I write in this way, in other languages it is acceptable. You will not get any error, because normally we write all the body part within curly braces, right? In Java and other languages, like this we write, right? And this curly braces itself is the indicator of starting off the body part. So when the compiler will see this curly braces, it will understand that, okay, I'm entering into the body part of this block. But here in Python, there is no curly brace concept. There is nothing called curly braces. So if you give a colon and then a space, then the interpreter will understand, okay, this is the header and this is the body part. of this particular block. So that's what indentation means. If I run this, it will give me error. It will execute. But if I don't give space and run, I will get an error called expected and indented block. So space is a mandatory thing in Python. Indentation really matters. Space is a mandatory thing in Python. If I don't give proper space, I will get error. Now you may ask me how much space. As you like, how many you want, you can give 1 tab, 2 tab, 3 tab. But make sure if you are giving 1 tab here, rest all lines of code, whatever you are writing, everything will come below it. For example, next line you're writing print. This is next line. I have to start immediately below the first line. Then I will get like the output. If I don't give proper spacing, again, let's say here I have given spacing, I have given some space, but not, I'm writing just below print, right? In first line, I have given 1 tab. In second line, I have given half tab. And I'm running, and same error I will get. Unindent does not match any outer indent. So you should write your code in a proper indented way. Okay. Here also you will get error. So the logic is, first after colon, any block you start, you give some space and all the lines should follow the same spacing. And again, let's say this block is finished. Again, I want to write something outside of this if block. Then I can write again, start writing from here. I am outside of if, right? And if this if is not executing, then also this will execute. I'm outside. Indentation is clear. What is indentation and why it is important in Python? So next time when you write any Python code, do not forget. So nothing, you have to do everything. That's why we are using IDE. Everything the IDE will take care. The spacing part, and I'll see here when I started writing my code, after I give colon and enter, automatically my cursor is coming here, right? So the spacing thing, the interpreter will take care. Okay, is it clear? Spacing, indentation, is it clear? Others, Tapaswini,
Yeah, it's
Roshan?
clear.
Yeah. Okay, so if you are not understanding anything, you please pause me there and ask whatever doubt you have, right? Okay, so two things we have seen. One is indentation and one is Python as a calculator. And yeah, so we have seen these two things. Coming to the next thing, variable. How to declare a variable in Python. So before that, I want to hear from you. What is a variable? Anybody? Any answers? Sorry.
Yeah, container to hold something.
Yeah, in simple term, that's correct. In complex term, in Python, basically it is a container which contains the reference to the place which contains the real value. But I don't want to confuse you. So in simple terms, yes, this is the place which is nothing but a container which will hold the value, right? So we all know what is variable. We will see now in Python how we can declare a variable. In Java, how we are declaring a variable. First, we have to write the data type of that variable, whether it is a int type, float type, boolean type, whatever type, and then the variable name. Let's say the variable name. Let's say this is my first variable 1 equals to 5. Okay, so yeah, definitely it is an invalid syntax here because in Java, we are using data type and then variable name equals to 5. This is just an example to show you how we are doing in Python. It should not be a error, but in Python, we really don't need to write the kind of type, data type. We will simply write the variable name and the value that we want to assign, the interpreter will automatically take care of the data type. So for example, if I am entering 5 here, it will understand that okay, variable 1 is an integer type. So I have not specified anything, simply I have specified, I have just written the variable name, any name you can give. Here I have given variable 1 and I have assigned the value 5. If I type equals to variable 1, and I can see it is an integer type, right? Similarly, if I change this to float 5.5, I'm just assigning some float value. And if I check the type, it is float. If I convert this to some string, let's say hi, this is a string and it is a string now. So that's how the interpreter works. Every whatever value you are assigning, based on that, it will decide automatically it will assign the data type for your variable, right? So this property is known as dynamic typing. Python variables are dynamically typed. Means interpreter will take care of data type. You as a user are not specifying the data type while declaring a variable in Python, right? And what is this type function? Type function is a built-in function and which will give you the type of any variable. Just pass the name and you will get what is the type of that variable, right? So I can write 6.7. It's a float type, right? Similarly, once I have decided the variable type, how I can change from one type to other type, like we call that type conversion. Let's say float to integer, integer uh, to some other type, right? Float, or sometimes string if it is possible, to let's say 9 point age, it's let's say in string 67, 87, I want to convert to integer. So all this all this type conversion is very, very straightforward in Python, very easy again. So variable 1 is which type now? Float type. I want to convert it to integer type. To integer, I want this to I want it to convert to integer, right? So what I will do is, what I will write is variable 2 equals to int of variable 1. What I am doing now, let me repeat. I am converting variable 1, which is a float type, to integer type. Okay. And I am storing the value in another variable. Let me cut this here. I will do it. First, let me convert this. So I'm getting 6. What is the value? 6.7. I have converted the float value to integer value. How I have converted? Simply I have called the int function. Prior to variable name, I am just calling the int function. Now this 6 I want to assign to variable 2. If I run this, if I check this, what is the type of variable 2? What is the type? I'll get the type is integer type, right? Similarly, you can do any type conversion. For example, let's say it is not an integer float. Let's say it is a string. 6.7 is a string. Now let me run this. The type is a string. I want to convert it to a float. So instead of int, you need to write float because I want to convert it to float. So sorry. Okay. But make sure it is a number, then only you can convert it to float. If it is some text, I definitely cannot use float function here. It will give me error. Is it clear what I'm saying? Variable, dynamically type conversion, all things are clear?
Yeah, yeah, yes. One doubt, if we want to only like define variable without giving any value, that we can't do here. Like Java directly we can put data type and give some variable like A, B, C, D. Here how to do?
No. Directly you can specify values to your variable. That's how Python variables are declared and defined at the same time. Like you will assign the value and also declare it. Same
Okay,
time,
fine.
same line of code. Yeah.
Yeah, got
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Others
Can't we
is
keep the dynamic values there?
so sorry, I couldn't hear it properly. Yeah.
Can't we keep the dynamic values?
Okay. Dynamic values in the sense from a keyboard kind of you're like asking users to put input and that you want to hold kind of thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. You can do that. I'll tell you. That's the next thing. I think it is already there in the syllabus there. It's not there, but I'll tell you. Good question. So how to take input from keyboard, right? So we have again a method called input. I'll show you here. Let's say I want to ask the user to give input and I want to hold that in a variable. So there is a function called input function. Which function? Input function. And by the way, or as you are new, right? New to Python, like input, we have used so many built-in function. Here I have used type, print, all this function, and there is a chance that you will not be understanding what that function is doing. If you want to take help for any function or for anything, what you have to do is you have to write a question mark, or you can also write help. Within help function you can write the function name for which you want help. So help itself is a function, and within that you need to pass the function name for which you want to take help. So here I want help for input function, right? So it's showing me the uh, uh, okay, this is something error, but mostly it is not taking. If this is not taking, then you simply write question mark and then run. So you will get the complete help. So yeah, so basically this is nothing but um, forward raw input. So basically it is nothing but taking input from keyboard, right? So what I will do is I will use this input function to take input from keyboard. I will ask the user. So let's say enter your age, right? And the user will be entering the age, and that I will store in a variable. First, let me run. Let me show you what exactly it is giving me. So it is, see, it is not completed executing. They're asking me to enter a value. I am entering, let's say 26 and then enter, right? So it is whatever I am entering, it is printing 26. But always remember this input function, whatever value you pass, I have passed 26. It's a number, but doesn't matter what you pass, a number, a string or whatever, it will always treat it as a string. This input function, the return here you can see, the return of this input function is always a string. Sometimes you don't need a string, you actually age, I mean it should be integer, so that you can convert using this. So we will do a small exercise. What we will do is we will create a variable called age, which will hold the value. Again, if I run again, it will ask this time, let's say 45 and enter. And if I see what is inside my age, it is 45. So this is how I can accept dynamic values uh, from keyboard and hold it in a variable. Now you tell me the code, you type or you tell me the code, how I can convert in this line, how I can convert this string to a integer type conversion. Let's say age, I want a string, integer. What I will do?
Age, we can put int and age variable, so it will convert.
Yes, here only I can call int, right? So
Yeah.
what I'm doing is whatever value I'm getting, I'm converting that to integer. If I run it again I will, let's say I am entering 67, enter, and if I run this, is it a, let's check the type of age now. Which type it is? Integer type, right? So in this way, you can combine type conversion wherever required. Which type you want directly, you can call that function. It will convert to that particular type. And input function is to take input from keyboard, right? If you want to take input from your keyboard, where is that? Yeah, go to meeting. Is it clear what I am trying to show you? Is it clear how to take input from keyboard, how to
Yes,
convert one type to another type, and what is a variable and all that is clear?
yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So this is about variable in Python, how to treat a variable in Python, right? Okay. So again, as I said, this weekend also we have to go slow. Many students are new. Many students joined just today. Many students are confirming and joining in the next weekend. So if I cover so many topics, again, I need to, I mean, people who are joining new, they have to go to, they have to see the recordings and I have to take recovery class. So I want to go slow. Mostly the classes will be 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours, and I will give a break after after 40 minutes. Maybe you can take a break of 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then again we can connect. Like that we will proceed. And it is a complete interactive session. Like how I'm coding, you can see this is my 8:30 p.m. batch, and everything, whatever concept, whatever we learn, see, you can see this is the batch recordings, and you can see like this is mostly we everything we just see in a practical example. So this is a real-time project we are working, and the concept, let's say yesterday I taught them something on regression, and I had implemented here in the code, and we just validated the results and everything. So it's a kind of interactive session, and mostly practical, theory practical combined, so you'll not feel bored. So even though it is 2.5 hour class, it will be very interesting. Half an hour or 30 minutes we'll understand some concept, and then 30 minutes we'll implement. Mostly I will do everything in a project problem statement. Here it is price prediction. um, uh, there may be 2 3 projects. One project will be on pandas and visualization, and one project will be on machine learning supervised. Another project is again on machine learning unsupervised. So in total you will be working on 3 projects. One project I will be doing in the class, 2 projects will be assignment for you, plus you will be getting so many additional assignments, mostly on pandas you will be getting. So when I'm saying assignment, it is kind of, I will be giving you the questions, the solutions and everything. um, I'll give you one example so that you will know what I mean, right? Okay, so this is the solution. Okay, there's so many assignments. Let's say exercise, right? So when I'm saying exercise, so this is something like you will get the questions and the output will be there. You need to feel the answers. Uh, I think this is already filled by me in the class because I was explaining, so I filled it. But basically, this will be the format. What is the most? So this is the question. This is the output. Here you need to fill the code. It's a kind of practice. And if you are stuck somewhere, there is a solution access folder where you will get the solution. So you can see the code. In after that also you have some doubt, you can ask in the class. So this is how you will get assignments and projects. Uh, One project I already shown you. So this kind of projects where I will be explaining you the steps, what all are the steps we are going to follow and how we will proceed, and one by one steps we will follow. First we will collect, then we will pre-process the data, then we will build the model and then validate the data science life cycle, how we really do in industry. The same way we will follow, and we will complete 2 projects related to machine learning and one project related to Python, pandas and visualization in this entire syllabus. Okay, so this is how the classes will be. And for today, I think we have to stop here because, as I said, this is again we are in a batch forming mode, and few students joined today, few students are joining next weekend. So yeah, any questions so far? Anything you want to ask me related to today's class or any doubt you have? I am ready to answer. And in the meantime, today I will be sharing some materials on Python. If you want, you can go through that. And also I will share this IPYNB file and today's recording. Yeah. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, we can wind it up. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah, Babita.
Today is my first class. I did not attend the previous class, so if it is possible, the previous recordings, if you can forward me, that would be good.
Yeah, sure, sure. I will share everything. So it will be in a Google Drive again. Let me share you. So this is, I'll show you some of my previous batch kind of folders. So you'll be getting everything in nice format. For example, this, all the lecture notes within each and every module, you will again get, you will get the codes, recordings, inside code, you'll get the code, recordings and everything. Okay, this way I will be sharing the materials. To
Okay,
answer your query,
maybe
Babita,
this might
yes.
be a this might be a repeated question for you, I guess. May I know how many classes will be there, and as you told, you'll be taking for 2.5 hours. As this is a new, you're running it soon. So may I know how many classes the whole course will take? All these details. Maybe this is a
So
repeated question. Yeah.
yeah, no problem. So this I already answered, but let me answer because this is new. Your first class, this is for you. So 2.5 hours into 8 weekends, you can calculate. That's the total time duration. So mostly it will finish in 2 months duration time. It will always exceed more than 2.5 hours because all the doubts related to projects, when we start project, people have so many doubts. So that time mostly the doubt clearing session will be after completing 2.5 hour session, and all the doubts related to topics you can ask, like how you asked today. Similarly, anytime you can pause and ask related to Python exercise or assignment or project or something you have tried not working related to project. We will discuss after 2.5 hours. So yes, that's the duration of this course, 2 months, 8 weekends.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I have one question. In the syllabus, I had noticed that you're also going to cover Git. Is it just like uploading our IPYNB files, or we would be
No.
deploying something?
So that's basically, you can go through the recordings. That's just a basic, to give you a basic understanding on Git. Because why? Because Git is something which is used by companies as version control. Most of the companies I have seen using GitLab or GitHub, right? Private and public. Mostly they don't use public, private. So they also upload their code there. You know, right? What is Git? So
Yeah.
just I want to give a brief because many students will not be knowing. So that's something extra, not
Oh,
related to the
oh,
syllabus.
okay.
But yeah, so yeah,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. And also, I think, have I told you about environment variable? Sorry, not environment, virtual environment setup. Have I told you? Students who
No,
join.
no.
Oh, okay. I forgot. I will tell you. Remind me in tomorrow's class. I will tell you how to set up once you have done Anaconda, right? Installing Anaconda is completed. Virtual environment. Anybody knows about virtual environment in Anaconda and why we do it?
Virtual environment in Anaconda, or it's like installing some Unix or some
No,
Linux version in the VMware
no.
Oracle.
In Anaconda. So that's a important thing. In real time, definitely you have to do the first thing after installing Python. You need to set up your virtual environment. I will tell you. what is the purpose and how to do it. So normally what will happen is you will be using different packages, right? And many packages are dependent on each other. If you install one package, that can downgrade or upgrade another package version. And I mean, I can explain you in detail tomorrow, but what will happen is, let's say you are working in a computer vision deep learning related project, and also you are working in a machine learning sales forecast, demand forecast project, two projects you are simultaneously working. And today you have installed some of the packages required for Python project number 1. Tomorrow you have installed some packages required for project 2. Day after tomorrow, when you are running project 1, you will getting some error. Why? Because the packages that you are installed, which is required for project 2, has downgraded some of the packages of project 1, and that's why you are getting some error. So that should not happen in real time. It's okay if you are individually working, but mostly in companies we work in a collaborative way. That you are not the only one who will be working in one project. There will be other team members who will be working, and such kind of installation may harm uh, the code, right? I mean, it's not a good idea. So anytime you start any project, better you start an environment, a virtual environment you create, and within that you install all your packages, so that it will not impact much to the outer side. So virtual environment is nothing but installing everything whatever is required uh, for a particular project within a environment of Anaconda, so that it will not impact the outer environment. How to explain? Tomorrow I'll explain more. With practical, you can understand. It's a practice. It's a good way of coding. It's nothing related to Python syllabus or data science syllabus, but it's a good way of coding. Okay, it's a good practice. Industry, if you're going and if you're practicing this, this is really, and mostly if you're using a common server, let's say same Unix server. This happened with me. That's why I'm saying, when I was working with Goldman Sachs, that's time we are, all data are very, very huge. 500 terabyte. One day market data is 500 terabyte. So our system RAM size was 400 GB. That's huge. That's how the machines are. And it's a Unix or Linux server. So what happened is, one of my team member, he was working in some of the big data code, and he changed some of the things, and next day when I run my code, I got so many errors. And the answer for that was, the error I was getting is NumPy has been downgraded. NumPy is one of the package which I was using. It has been downgraded, and few of the packages that I was using was requiring the higher version of NumPy, which was downgraded by other packages required by my other team member for other project. Are you getting? And I'm getting error. So that's time onwards we have started using virtual environment. For each and every project, you should first initiate your virtual environment inside Anaconda, and then you should work uh, in those projects. Am I making sense? If I'm not making sense, that's absolutely fine. Tomorrow I can make you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, but it
Mm.
would be great if we can see the practical tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow but in the meantime, people who join newly today, please install everything and make your system ready before coming to tomorrow's class, following the recording of last class. And also see the recording of Jupyter Notebook. You'll get a hands-on on Jupyter Notebook. Tomorrow I'll show you how to set environment, sorry, not environment, virtual environment, and then we'll move forward for Python topics. Mostly loops, if, else, while, for, functions, all these things we'll cover tomorrow. Okay, for today, we will end the session here, and let's connect tomorrow.
Timing like 7:30 or 8, confusions.
It will be mostly 7:30 because many are joining from US, and 10:30 is, if I'm not wrong, please correct if anybody joined from US, it is very late there, right? 10:30 a.m. IST, it's something like night, midnight. So that's the thing, because I have also few US students and that's the feedback I got from them. So we can start 7:30 if you don't have any major issues, if you can adjust, right?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, timing will be 7:30 to 10. Okay, that's the class timing. Okay,
Okay.
thank you all. Let's connect tomorrow. You can use the same link to join tomorrow's class.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah.